Okay, let's start.
Miles Chung is
That wasn't a good introduction, sorry.
that truly got in the spotlight
Oh,
in the
my
run-up to
headphones.
the 2024 US presidential election. You see, Ian would tweet daily. We're talking hundreds of tweets, all centered on the topic of this election. The guy was acting like his
Yes,
life was
that was
hanging in the
better.
balance if the wrong candidate ended up winning. In fact, he was so
Ignore
passionate
the
about
cup,
this
guys.
topic
I'm
that it
sick.
even reached the owner of the website, Elon Musk, who retweeted and replied to his posts constantly. Except, here's the thing.
No.
Ian wasn't even a United States citizen.
It's
He
good
was
now?
Malaysian,
Okay.
and he lived in Malaysia. He didn't have a green card. Hell, he didn't even have a US tourist visa. In fact, most shocking in all this, the guy had never stepped foot on United States territory before.
I love America.
Not once in his life.
God
And
bless
yet here
America.
he was, shamelessly quote tweeting things like multiculturalism will tear our country apart, and saying that's right, they need to get out of our country. Bro, what do you mean our? What?
Wait, I
Or
have
how
a
about
question. Is it this guy who's Elfinpsyop? Why is this guy in the intro?
used to be governed by an Ugandan named Zohran Kwame Mamdani. Get out of my country. What do you mean your country? Excuse me.
No?
You
Okay.
see, the thing with Ian, if that's even his real name, is that he was the
That would
perfect
be worse,
example
though.
of a grifter. Someone
A
who
guy
pretends to
pretending
believe
to-
in something
pretending
while
to
not
be a
giving a
girl.
shit about it, all to benefit directly from it, whether financially or
He's
by
just a
other
grifter.
means.
Oh, it's
And
an
he sure as hell
example.
did. Not only does he have 1.2 million followers, he also lives in the United
I'm so
Arab
glad.
Emirates, a country that's significantly more expensive than his home country of Malaysia. So why am I telling you all this? Well, it's simple. For as long as so many of us can remember, a grifter only took on a few different forms, whether it be a politician or someone extremely rich, people of power. It was a known fact that these people changed their politics based on the highest bidder that was filling their pockets. But today, we live in unprecedented times where just about anyone can become a grifter and benefit directly from it. It's not a privilege.
I have something to say. Tomorrow, if I come out and I'm a political VTuber, I'm a grifter. You can call me out, okay? Okay, let's go back to the video.
Reserved for the people in power anymore.
100%
This
a
means
gifter.
anyone can be a grifter,
Not a gifter,
even if
grifter.
it was a severely alcoholic mess of a VTuber. You see, from
Whoa.
the first day that Elfinpsyop started streaming, she targeted a very specific demographic. Males who would typically share
The
the same
model is a
ideologies
little bit
you'd find
creepy.
on 4chan, who love edgy humor, dislike minorities, and most importantly, never receive female attention. All she had to do was post slurs and insults directed towards
Whoa.
minorities every day, all while acting as edgy as possible. And through this, she was able to attain over 100,000 followers.
Thinking Goja is so cool, we can tell you're Indian. Never mind, he's African, bro. It's the same thing any better time.
In less than
What
2
the hell are
years.
they
But that's
talking
not
about?
all. She was also able to make close to 6 figures in those 2 years
Whoa.
by building very unhealthy relationships with those viewers who get no female attention. Like, for example, calling those viewers on Discord and starting to touch herself without them knowing as they were talking. And that's not even the worst thing she's done. I mean, she was literally posting audios of her gooning to her general chat in her
Don't
Discord
show that
server,
to us,
accessible by
please.
anyone, okay? But this, of course, had its massive
I don't want to
benefits.
see it.
Elfin was so successful in doing this. She was so unstoppable too, invincible to all sorts of criticisms.
But
that
why
we even
this?
had bigger and more viral VTubers try to emulate her, try to copy her. That's how dangerous her influence had become. But that would all be until December 2025, when demons from her past would catch up to her and expose to us all that she's actually
Well, I think
one
it's
of those
4chan.
minorities that she insulted daily. It would turn out that she is Pakistani. This is where her entire life falls apart as her Sims try to grapple with the fact that she is a minority. But of course, it doesn't end here, because she might have committed a pretty serious crime that made her eventually want to delete all her socials to scrub the proof. And yes, it involved a minor. This is one of the more uniquely disturbing videos I've ever made. And word of warning, throughout all of it, you'll lose hope in humanity multiple times. So
No.
before we get started, I
We
thought I'd
don't
get the
lose
good news out of the way
hope
first.
in
I was able
humanity.
to achieve a very cool goal of mine. Hiring my artist Weyawang full time. Yes, the same artist who makes illustrations of me all the time.
I have a
and
question. If there's an ad in the video, should I skip it or should I just watch it? I always get confused. Bluey, so bite in my fingers. I knew it. Sometimes people say if you skip the ad thingy, the advertisement here is rude. But some people say you can skip it. You can skip it if you want. Okay, I'll skip.
Who also made my VTuber model. This was
Yeah,
all
go follow him on Patreon. Thank you.
thanks to your guys' support and so much influence in such a short
Like, how would you find this attractive? What the hell?
time.
People
Well,
are
if
so
you
down
Google
bad.
this term, you'll get a
Be down
definition
bad though.
saying a fictional girl or woman who is endearingly pathetic or inept.
Girl
And while
failure.
yes, this is true to some degree, it barely touches on the whole story. In fact, if
It's a little rude to skip, but not the end of the world. Wait, what did he say? Yeah, go subscribe to his Patreon for $1. Thank you.
exclusive definition saying
giving
a
him
fictional
advertisement.
girl or woman who is endearingly pathetic or inept.
Love you,
And while
Mujin.
yes, this is true to some degree, it barely touches on the whole story. In fact, if I had to explain what a girl failure meant, then I
Yeah.
would say it's nothing more than a modern and extremely bastardized version of a damsel in distress. Yes, the
Damsel
idea
in
of a woman
distress,
that
what
finds
does that
herself
mean?
in such a desperate and helpless situation and can only ever hope to get out of it thanks to the help of a man, preferably a white knight in shining armor. He would extend his hand to her, he would save her, and they would live their life happily ever after, with the man taking full credit for the woman's happiness. At its essence, this is
Oh.
exactly
Oh,
what the term
Combini, I
girl
love
failure
Combini.
means. A woman who is such a loser, someone who can't take care of themselves, that's just waiting on a man that can fix her. But when it came to Elfin, she wasn't just a girl failure, she also happened to be someone who was very mentally ill and severely alcoholic. But
Oh
don't
my
take
God, you
my
scared
word for
me.
it. This is how she would introduce
Calm
herself to
down.
people who would find her account on Twitter. Hello, new
Not
people.
dead.
I'm Elfin. I'm a loser. In parentheses, girl failure.
Whoa.
Whatever.
Thank
Stinky
you for
elf
the
federal
bits.
agent. I love bugs and I've
Anonymous
got bruises. I'm a
person.
very messy person, tired, and a massive alcoholic. My interests are conspiracy theories, astronomy, military history, and coding. I'm also extremely
Whoa.
edgy, so you might see me post retarded rants while drunk.
Oh,
Wow.
God,
What
okay,
if-
I have a question. Be nice, please, because I don't know. Is the no? Should I say it? Is should I say it? This word, retarded. Is that a bad thing to say? Like instead of stupid, can you say retarded? I have a question. I wanna be better. Cause I see some people use retarded, and then some people are like, "Oh, it's offensive," but I don't know. I prefer you didn't say it. Okay, I'll just say stupid.
flattering
Stupid.
introduction. I can totally see how she needs a white knight to save her from her predicament. But other than her
Cat's
making
biting
alcohol her
my
entire
pan.
personality and being a very clear example of what a pick-me girl is,
Oh, I
you'd
hate
probably never
pick-me's.
guess that this person started streaming in February of 2024 and by mid-2025 had over 100,000
Whoa.
followers. So how the hell did she manage to become so big in such a short amount of time while having an extremely loyal community that would practically die for her? Well, it involved a multitude of
die.
different factors. One of the first factors is that she was edgy, like extremely edgy. It's as if she was
Ugh.
competing for the Edgy Olympics and wanted first place. Like this right here was a
They took me to the hospital, mental hospital, and the nurse laughed at me for attempting what a bish. What is she getting paid for? I hope she explodes. Well, this is not nice too. Can I just say you deserve it if you fail at it? Like it ain't a freaking hard to kill yourself. Oh my
tweet of
God.
someone saying they went to the mental hospital and the nurse laughed at them
This
for
is not
attempting
edgy,
to
it's
leave this
just
planet,
mean.
right? What does Elfin do? She would quote tweet this and say, "Can I just say you deserve it if you fail at it? Like it ain't fucking hard
Wow.
to kill yourself. I'm sorry." How about this tweet? "Some black people shouldn't have rights." Or this one, where she says, "So I became
Wow.
a Nazi. Yeah, bitch, I'm the villain," showing a German pistol. She tried way too hard, and for the average person, this was extremely cringy. Like in this massive tweet with multiple paragraphs, she's basically saying, "Oh, you're saying the N-word
Yeah, it
hard
is
R?
a
You think
little
it
bit
makes you base,
cringe.
edgy, cool? Say
She's trying to
actual
get
vile
that
shit. I want
attention.
more edginess." Like imagine lacking so much self-awareness that you think this is actually cool. This was as far back as November 2024, and look, it would have normally been ignored. She's not the first one to be this edgy on Twitter. Normally, right, someone like Elfin would have never gained more than 10,000 followers. I would have never had to make a video about her to begin with. So what was really one of the main factors that put her on the map? What changed everything for her and her entire career? Well, her belly. That's right. And I wish I was making this up. I'm talking about her belly. Her stomach, her
I think it's
abdomen.
time to
She
take
would
my belly
periodically
out.
post pictures of it on Twitter, and she would gain
No, I wouldn't do
tens
it. Sorry.
of thousands of likes. Like, for example, I remember this one because I saw it on my feed. It had the caption of whatever, enjoy, and it was literally just her abdomen. Here's the high res. I mean, it's nothing
looks
special,
like a normal
right? So why did this
abdomen.
post in particular gain 15,000
But-
likes? Well, because she's a VTuber.
Not
I wish I
VTuber.
was kidding.
No,
At this
no.
point, one could call this a kink.
Who's
and the
this
Twitter
person?
algorithm rewards it heavily. Like recently, I saw a picture
Elon
of
Musk.
cleavage on my feed. It had over 20,000 likes. I was like, what makes this cleavage so fucking interesting?
Well, I love the
I went to
art.
that person's profile and I saw they had 200 followers, but get this, they had a VTuber profile picture. That's right. The appeal that someone who is anonymous, that is too shy to show their face, is sharing skin. Elfin loved the attention this brought her. So as I said, she would post this periodically, and every time she would gain so much attention on her profile. It's insane. But it doesn't simply end here.
The most skin I would show is my cat biting my arm. Yeah. I would show that. That's it.
After the horny guys would follow her because she has a nice looking
Or-
belly,
or-
they'd start seeing her
or
other
legs.
tweets.
I don't know.
Her
Let's
girl
see.
failure tweets, where she would say things like, I'm 20, I've never had a boyfriend, I'm a virgin, I've never kissed, fucked, or anything before. I hate myself so much, this is such a terrible situation. Look at this post, for example. Legit just gooned and it looked exactly like this.
This is
And
so
fuck
disgusting
literally
to
her. I
read.
stink right now. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm so upset. I wish I fucking had real life friends. I should be out hanging out at a bar right now.
Look
This
at the
post,
bookmark.
posted on December 14th, 2024, would have over 2.9 million
Ah.
views and 85,000 likes, as well as 1,000 comments and 28,000 bookmarks. This is one of the most pathetic posts you
Disgusting.
can imagine, and there it is, going viral. She'd post something like this every single day, and it all goes back to the whole damsel in
I don't know how
distress
to flirt
phenomenon
with
that I was
a
talking
man.
about earlier. She was a VTuber who only had
You
male
just compliment them and you give a little bit of side, you know what I mean? You feel like a guy and he's wearing a really cute shirt. You're like, oh, I really like your shirt. Me. And they're gonna fall for you. Yes. Or, oh, you could buy them Hot Wheels. Apparently all guys love Hot Wheels. Is that true?
interests. She was
I should start buying guys Hot Wheels.
edgy, racist, and seen as based by some
Yeah,
people.
I'll buy you
and she had
guys
a
Hot
nice-looking
Wheels.
belly, which makes people's imaginations run wild. They think if it looks that good, then her face must look amazing too. The rest of her body as well. But the cherry on top is that even though she's all these things, she also happens to be a girl failure. She's someone who hates her life. She has no friends.
That's not
she lives
good.
alone in the UK as a student. And the cherry on top was that she was a virgin, guys. She was pure. A witch could use her tears to make a potion. And she was just waiting for the right guy to fix her and life her up. She understood this very
Ignore
well.
the cough.
But even though this was all a very elaborate plan to begin with, she still managed to take it to a very worrying next level. And that would be when you would take the next step.
I kind of feel like if you're a virgin as a guy, they kind of look down on you. And if you're a virgin as a girl, they kind of, I don't know, put you in a pedestal. Warn you what? Pedestal. Oh my god, I'm learning new words.
Her Discord. Her Discord is exactly what you would expect. Elfin would spend a worrying amount of time on there. She was practically chronically online, and anyone could pretty
Wow.
much talk to her. Most conversations revolved around two things.
Pretty much how
the
it
first one
goes,
being
yeah.
about racism, and the second one being about her being a massive gooner. Here you can see someone saying Elfin's been mostly
Why would
quiet
she
on the
say
server
it out
today because
loud?
she's embarrassed about how hard she was horny posting while drunk last night. To which Elfin replies, "We're not talking about that." A viewer would say, "You gonna call her a good girl, or is that just for you?" Elfin would say, "Me." And an amazing example right here, someone saying, "Elfin, do you
Oh,
choke
so
yourself?"
cringe.
And Elfin replying with, "Yeah." It was pretty much a server just to worship her and hope that she'll give you attention. Additionally, you'd see her say obscene things that she couldn't even post on Twitter. Like, for example, if I had to f a dog, it'd be a husky. I genuinely don't know what to say about that, dude. Like, I genuinely, I mean, I'm speechless, but I truly, I wish
Floyd.
things ended here.
Who's
Elfin
Floyd?
would take this parasocialism that she had built in her Discord server
Oh, I don't
to a
wanna
level
hear
that
it.
no other VTuber had ever taken it to, especially if they were the same size and influence. During her career, she would post over 11
My cat's
different
looking at me.
audios of her literally gooning with a vibrator. And get this, she wouldn't like post them in a private channel with her top donators or whatever.
Vibrator.
She would post it in general, in the channel that
Never use
anyone who joins the
vibrator.
server has
Why not?
access to.
Well,
Now, look, I'd
okay, let me be
love
quiet.
for you to listen to this clip in particular because it is so ridiculous.
Hi.
But you can literally hear a vibrator in the background, okay? So
I wanna
instead,
hear
I'll
it.
reenact the first 10 seconds for you because it is one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard in my entire life, and I mean that. She goes, in the most like lolly voice possible. Then she says, if there's any Slavic guy out there that wants to marry me and kill N-words hard R, I want to
Whoa.
murder all N-words hard R. And I'm telling you, during the whole thing, you can hear a vibrator going bzzz in the background. Like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, what is my life? What the fuck is this? That already tells you a lot about who this person is, right? And of course, if you were to confront her about this, she'd say, oh, I don't remember. I was drunk. I'm an alcoholic. It's my entire personality. And now you might be making the
What if
mistake.
she's actually not a grifter and she actually feels like that? You know, whatever she says, that's what she's thinking. Maybe she's not a grifter. If I'm gonna be a grifter tomorrow, no, I wouldn't say these stuff though.
Of thinking, Mujin, all right, I get it. I get
I
why
would
she had so many
never.
followers, and I get why she made so much money. And I mean, buddy, do you really think I was going to let you
Gune?
go that easily?
That's
No, because
diabolical.
now the fun begins.
My mom
What do you do when you have
my
an army
eyes.
of 100,000 military-aged men who willingly castrated their balls
I love
to
older
worship?
men.
Well, you start reaching deep into their
Do they?
pockets by suicide baiting. Tweets like this wouldn't be an uncommon find with Elfin, saying things like, genuinely want to kill myself, man. Or how about this post on her Discord saying, I just got charged like $1,800 about as tax. I'm really exempt from paying that. Since she's a student in the UK, they just plainly took my money from
Oh
my
my god,
tuition
look
and
at
I have
the
to pay.
emoji stuff. That's diabolical. Okay, where can I get audience? Should I go on 4chan?
Rent soon, like a
But
year.
they would probably dox me though. That's what I fear the most. Like, what if they come to my house and they think we're married or something, or we have children? Oh,
I'm gonna actually fucking kill
I don't
myself.
want that.
She would then talk about how depressed she is and unmotivated and oh my god, I need to earn rent. Even though, as you might guess, none of this was actually true. She'd keep
That's
this lie going on other
diabolical.
platforms too, saying, I'm getting kicked out my apartment soon if I don't pay for a whole year up front. Time to find a new house or go homeless, I guess. Streaming from under a bridge. Fuck. She'd have 101 replies, all begging to help and wishing
Hi,
her the
Krunk.
best and being worried
Hi.
about her. Poor Elfin. Now get this. She'd say, does anyone want to buy my blanket I used to hump every day for money? I need money for rent. Thanks. Now look, most people, if they tweet something like this, they'd be laughed at. Maybe people will think, oh, they're just joking. As I had mentioned already, Elfin had an army of 100,000 men who castrated themselves
Whoa.
just
Okay,
to worship
what
her.
is castration? Ooh, I'm gonna learn new words. Day before yesterday, I learned escort. What is this? Castration. Let me Google. Castration meaning the removal of the testicle of a male animal or man. Huh? Why is there trouble? Bells? Bells gone? What the hell?
So what do you think actually happened?
You!
She got offers. Someone would say, actual? Question mark?
But why?
Offer? Question mark? Alphen would reply with $1,000 runes, to which someone would say, PayPal or Venmo. She had these
Okay,
guys
I'm going on
wrapped around
4chan. I'm going on 4chan. Bye!
her finger. And she knew that. She'd somehow always end up being short on money no matter how much people donated, and at some point would even open commissions.
I don't like the
It turned out that her
character.
commissions were her just finding a Japanese artist, stealing their art, and then adding small modifications
Bobby
and
saw
making
bite
it
in
her
my leg.
own. But her fans didn't care. Listen, she was a girl failure.
here.
She wasn't perfect. Yeah, she did some weird things, but don't worry. They'll be the one to fix her. So chill. Elfin had essentially done what no other edgy VTuber could have ever hoped to achieve. She said some of the most vile, racist shit known to mankind, all while having a massive army of simps supporting her. God, I mean, she must have felt invincible, like she could do anything, like she was untouchable, and to be honest, she was. But that was, of course, until
Bubby
her
so
entire
biting.
world crumbled right before her very eyes, all due to someone she thought she could trust. On December 4th, 2024, I'd release a video titled How This Entitled VTuber Lost Her Career Overnight. It would talk about Gumpai,
My
an
cat's
extremely
biting
edgy
me.
VTuber that had 1/10 of the audience
Maybe
Elfin.
she hates me watching this video. Stop biting me, Bubby. You wanna say hi to them? Hi, just say hi. Ah! Okay, you're grounded. He kept biting me.
Psyop has. You see, someone made a fan-made plushie of her and wanted to sell it. She had a complete crash out and started being racist towards them. The entire VTuber community rallied against her, and
He's
instead of
scratching my
apologizing,
butt.
she doubled, tripled, then quadrupled down. It was very embarrassing and humiliating just for about anyone who had self-awareness. Now, after my video would come out, some people would take it upon themselves to investigate her further. What they'd end up finding is a very, and I mean very, parasocial community. You couldn't
love
even join her
Parasocial.
Discord server if there was any doubt that you were a woman. Gumpai would immediately ban you and say that she doesn't want any other man in her server to give attention to any other woman but herself. She
Wow.
essentially acted as everyone's girlfriend, but it
But
went
I
way
feel the same way for VTubers. Like, I don't want you guys to watch another VTuber. Unless it's Vedul-chan. Now, what was that person's name? Nero-chan.
beyond that. If you sent her a picture of your
Oh,
sausage,
and
yes,
Krelly.
your straight up genitalia in DMs, instead of blocking you like 99.99% of women, she would
Nero-chan.
instead give it a rating. She'd compliment it.
Nero-sama.
She'd write a paragraph about it. Yeah, trust me, I was shocked too. Anyone could essentially DM her anything, and she was chronically online in her Discord. This is how she was able to get so many different gifts and so much money from her community. I know this already sounded familiar to you when it came to Elfin, but it went deeper than that. Gumpai had another account by the name of Zuba. She used to post normal things on there,
Zuba.
but then one day posted an image of her in a bikini, specifically showcasing, yeah, you guessed it, her belly. That tweet would get over 20.
Why does a belly have a hole?
Likes. And that's when she would decide to make a VTuber, knowing she can take full advantage of that.
I
And
like
she
this
did.
skirt.
She was practically invincible. That
The
whole
top.
backlash about her being racist, my video coming out, nothing affected her at all. But her career still somehow ended. You know why? Well, it turned out she had a boyfriend. When you tell your community that you're their collective girlfriend, and it turns out you had a boyfriend behind the scenes, you lose all your fans. It's just that simple.
Really? Really? Is that real? If a VTuber has a boyfriend, do they lose their followers and supporters? Is that a thing? Oh, I did not know that. Whoa!
Revealed she would scrub her
Parasocial.
YouTube channel, delete her Discord server, and deactivate her Twitter account. She would briefly reactivate
No one asked
later
me to be the
and
Valentine's,
sell
though.
her entire model and assets
Valentine,
for
that's so sad.
$2,200.
But Muffin asked
It would
me.
somehow get bought by a viewer of mine. I hope he's enjoying the model. And that was that.
But probably lose some, but more if you are doing lots of girlfriend stuff. Oh, girlfriend stuff. I'm parasocial.
It wasn't her racism. It wasn't her weird attitude. It wasn't her being an unlikable person that canceled
But
her. It
model
was
and
simply her
art.
having a boyfriend. When you're parasocial, you're invincible unless you're lying to your community. That's the one taboo rule
Oh.
you can't break. What's really funny is that
Did
she
not
would
know
go as
that.
far as trying to reinvent herself, creating a new VTuber identity in May of 2025. And in just the span of like a couple of months, people would discover that there was a lot of similarities between Gumpai and this new Mirio Maki. On July 8th, she would post an explanation apologizing for her past behavior, and she hasn't posted or streamed since then. Now, you would think that since her and Elfin shared so many similarities,
Incredible
back when her
background.
controversy was happening, Elfin would have maybe came in and defended her. I mean, Gumpai wasn't even saying half the edgy shit that Elfin
But I
said
do
on her
like
feed,
her
but-
model here. Except for the hair and the shirt. Oh, I like the shirt. I don't know, something
Right, so
feels
come on.
weird.
Surprisingly, though, okay, it's not really a surprise. Elfin would join the dogpiling, saying, "Oh my god, my based racist Chuba, ooh, it's only funny when they say unintentionally and not in an active effort to harm/insult someone." When did we lose sight of what's actually funny? So look, this tweet makes absolutely zero fucking sense, okay? This is just Elfin being the typical pick-me, seeing that someone's being hated and trying to profit off of it. How? Well, it's simple. Gumpai had a lot of
I hate
Parasocial
pick-me's.
fans, so
Don't be a
Elfin
pick-me,
clearly
guys.
wanted some to come to her community instead. But above all, she wanted you to know that she wasn't
Bobby, you
a
gotta
grifter,
stop
okay?
scratching my butt,
She was a
please.
real girl failure.
It's
She
hurting.
was somehow taking the moral high ground.
Feels
I'm
like
not fake
injection.
like you, okay? I'm authentic. I'm as real as it gets, and I know what I'm doing. And that's the attitude she always took when she saw someone doing something similar to her and getting canceled or getting into trouble. What's deeply ironic here, though, okay, is that barely a few months after she was taking this moral high ground on Gumpai, someone would come out with a 51-page Google Doc about her on April 18th, 2025. His name was Average Bird Enjoyer. And this was significant because he was watching her from the beginning back in 2024, and he was one of her lead mods. He was always there for her, as well as always in her chat.
Only one day.
I mean, look at this. On a scheduled stream on YouTube, there was a pinned message saying,
Only will
"Elf
come
is
out with the
currently
Google
dead asleep.
Doc.
Potentially no stream today. We'll move to tomorrow if that's the case." The stream was still running as she was doing some sort of a donathon. It's kind of like a subathon, but it involves direct money. You'd hear some sort of a Discord ring on the stream,
Donathon.
and Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and say, "That was me calling her to see if she'd wake up, lol." So this was someone who, as far as the community was concerned, was close to her. In fact, the guy wasn't just close, okay? He was borderline insane. At some point, Elfin would be streaming and she had a donation goal for PC funds set at $100. Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and donate in one payment $10,000.
Wow.
Probably and most likely because he thought he could be the one to fix her. But here's the deal. He wasn't the only one. The document that Average Bird Enjoyer wrote was 51
I'm
pages
doing something
long, and
wrong.
it involved 6 people total, including himself. But are we actually going to bother diving deep into this
$10,000?
mess? Hell no. Honestly, it's so pathetic, it's not even worth doing that. I'll just sum it up for you. In a nutshell, Average Bird Enjoyer had spent over $50,000 on Elfin in the span of like less than
Let's
a
make
year.
it like this.
Listen, I have to specify this. He found her when she had less than 500 followers, probably 50 viewers. She was not a big streamer by any means. But Average Bird
50
Enjoyer went
viewers is not a big streamer. How much do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 viewers. That's a big viewer. Yeah, 5 viewers.
all
50?
out thinking that he'll
50 is
genuinely
crazy.
be able to like be Elfin's partner, okay? That they're gonna date.
Maybe if someone donates $10,000, ban them. No, I'm gonna be playing with them for my entire life.
He thought they were exclusive to begin with. He sent her 10,000.
I could pay off the debt. Wow. I'll be talking to them every single day. I'll be calling them. I'll go take care of them, cook for them.
dollars on that stream. He hired her an editor. He got her a manager.
Oh,
He
I'm
was
going
willing to
out
pay
of
for
my
her
way
new
to do
VTuber
everything.
model. They met up IRL and he took her to multiple Michelin star
100%.
restaurants. Dude blew a fucking
100% only.
apartment's down payment on this girl failure. But he was the only guy who actually had to spend this much money. The other 5 guys spent almost nothing. And they got the same treatment that he got. What was
On
that treatment, you might
camera?
ask? Well, other than meeting up with her IRL and doing stuff, yeah, she's not a virgin. I mean, who could have ever guessed that? It all would start
Well,
with
she's
them
not a
messaging
virgin.
her, being in her Discord,
Oh.
right? Messaging her and her reciprocating. She would then get in calls
Why
with
would
them,
she lie
okay?
about that?
Listen. She would then get in calls with them. And as they were talking, right? They could be talking about their day, a game they're playing, whatever. She would start to flick her fucking bean, bro. She would start gooning right then and there to their voice. No warning, no nothing, dude. And then after she'd be done, she'd send them explicit pictures.
Because
These guys
she's
would
a
of course be
grifter.
shocked. What the hell is happening, dude? And then the next day when they'd ask her about it, she'd say, "Oh, I don't remember anything. I was severely drunk. Please delete all my pictures." However, she'd keep doing it over and over and over. And each
What
of these
the
guys
hell?
thought that she was being exclusive just with them when she was doing this with 6 people at the same
6 people.
And as I said, she'd meet up with them, she'd do things with them, God knows
Wow.
what. But overall, she wasn't this pure virgin girl failure she was making herself out to be. That's pretty much the 51 pages in a nutshell. It also involved incredible DMs like this, with Elfin saying, Bird eat you, bird eat you. If you just touch my noe,
Why
my
do I
puffy, it'll make me fub. Kun, teal it faster. Winku, you know, I'm gins
Why do I have to read it?
do. Average bird enjoyer would then say, translated, Elfin telling me if I touched her pussy, she'd come real fast.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can we stop it?
What am I doing with
Oh, my boobies trying to run
life?
away.
Anyway, when this document came out, Elfin
love
was
you.
furious. She was watching her entire world crumble around her. She saw what happened with Gumpai and did not want the same to happen to her. She had been parasocial her entire career. Her entire Discord was obsessed with her. She can't
But
have
I'm
this
parasocial
leak.
too.
And yet it did. So she
Is
would
that a
tweet this
bad
out
thing?
almost immediately, saying, I see shit like this and know for a fact that these people barely do any research and just love saying shit. I had phone sex for a couple of days or weeks with some guys. Okay, wait, hold the phone. Days or weeks? That's a huge range.
It actually
Anyway,
is.
I told all of them day one I was not into dating, and they agreed with
I
me. Most of
love
them don't
you,
even care about the
booby.
situation. They went out of their way to message me just to say how stupid this drama was. Only Bird and another
Aren't
person who
parasocial
repeatedly
like
tried
that?
to threaten and dox
Yeah.
me were emotional homosexuals. Bird not only went
Ooh.
around trying to poison my community,
I love
he actively shared
homosexuals.
information about me to other server members in an attempt to make them join his side. He went to all my mods and all my
How
close
biting
friends
me.
on the server. People saying, oh my god, there's no evidence of Bird being a bad guy. First of all, 51-page expose about someone you apparently cared about as a friend, his words. If you really wanted to help me to stop my pattern of behavior, you could discuss it with me like everything else. Just to cut her off here, something else that was mentioned in those 51 pages was how when every single one of these guys found out what she was doing and confronted her, she would lash out. She'd get very angry and she wouldn't want to listen to a single thing they had to say, especially when they had something to say about alcohol, okay? Anyway, let's continue. But no, I only talked to Bird that way for
I
a
hate you,
month.
booby.
I crave validation
That's
from men.
parasocial
I
too.
admit I wanted compliments and I wanted attention,
Yeah.
but he acted as if he was my dad. His friend would try to wingman and tell me I should meet Bird and just be with him. He could make my life so much better, and I straight up told him I wasn't into Bird. I have screenshots and evidence. Also,
So
I
she was sleeping with guys just to get the money? Why isn't that prostitution? Oh, speaking of escort,
I started
yeah.
streaming and Bird came along. I was 19 at the time, extremely new to VTubing, and having
But
this much
multiple
attention, he taught
guys
me
is
everything
like
about VTubing and keeping me
diabolical.
in a bubble. She would then talk about the point of women not taking accountability, saying, motherfucker, all I've done is say I'm not a victim. I keep fucking saying I was wrong too. Why are you just ignoring this? Oh my god, she cheated. On who? I was dating no one at the time. I never
Don't
dated any
cheat.
of them, and I have screenshots of some of the guys saying they knew what it was. It was not dating. We had phone sex, gooning on call. She would then make an
I'm gonna ask a question. What's a phone? Stuff. What do they do? Let me Google. I don't want to ask you guys questions. Phone. Okay. Oh. Meaning. Sexually explicit phone conversation. Engaged in for sexual gratification. But how do they do it? Involves simulating. What's another word for such stuff? Intercourse over the phone. Either using voice calls, video calls, or messaging services. Huh. The more you know.
another tweet, quoting something that many people were saying, oh my god, these poor lonely men, while she replied, while they're 25 plus adults. If a 19-year-old has to be held accountable for whatever
So, do they use the phone as vibration?
she's
Let
done,
me
you
stop.
can't possibly in good faith ignore
I
the horrible
don't
shit
know.
these men do just because lonely. I literally
don't
live
know.
alone and talk to
What
a
do you
total
want,
of 0
Bobby?
people IRL. I'm
Stop scratching
fucking
me.
lonely. And look at this very sad image she
Aww.
posted. Oh my god, it's her crying. But guys, don't worry. As she said in her own words, she is not acting like a victim.
Can you guys send me $10,000, please? It's really hot. $10,000. Don't say no. Just $10,000 for free. Please. Gracias. That's it. Gotta be parasocial, be parasocial. Oh, there's a video. Oh, where did I put it? Oh, I see it.
But look, to be completely impartial here, these guys were really weird,
Gotta be parasocial,
especially
guys.
Average Bird and Joyer. Look, if you go and donate $10,000 in cash right now to a top streamer, they'll fucking block you because they know that you can't be donating this much
But why?
money without ulterior motives.
But
This
why?
document was made on purpose to destroy her career, isolate her, and further take advantage of her by manipulating her as she was all alone, okay? The document will also reveal that she's always been known as being a certain person on 4chan.
It's not a bad thing. Let's say a person donates, I don't know, $1,000. But they're just donating $1,000. What do they want in return? I don't know. They just wanna support my stream. Yeah. They just want me to buy a better PC to play Marble Bibles. That's a good person. Obviously I would play with them and stuff. But it's not bad. Because if someone does that, they want something else from you. Yeah, maybe they just want to play with me. That's so cute. They just wanna have fun. Marble Bible session. That's not it. Then what do they want? Do they want my home-cooked brownies? I'll give it. Says don't dox me, please. But I can play with you for free. Yeah. That's true too, but I think after, let's say we reach like, I don't know. Oh, I don't want to think about it. No, I'm not gonna say it. Well, let's say we reach, I don't know, 50 viewers one day. What would I do? I think I would still play with you guys. Lean is in my Steam. Oni is in my Steam. Yeah, I'll play with Oni 100%. How's Mibet? Yes, 100%. But what do they want though? Like, let's say someone donates 5,000. That's a lot of freaking money, but what do I do? Booby! My booby is trying to scratch some boxes. Should I just block them? After they paid me 5k. That's diabolical. Yeah, it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel nice. Oh, I got a cough, sorry. Okay, let's play the video.
Someone who has had a history of sending nudes and being explicit. He'd even go as far as saying that
I'm a
while she
little
was
bit
talking
sick.
to these 6 different guys, she had an IRL boyfriend. It was an attempt at totally annihilating.
They probably want attention, bodily favors. Bodily favors. They wanna have sauce stuff? No, absolutely not. It mostly comes down to if they expect something from it. If it's not physical stuff, then it's okay, I guess. Oh my god, maybe I should stop
her
Vtubing.
entire reputation. At the same time, though, she refused
not
to take any
safe for me.
accountability. She'd say that she was groomed. Brother, you were 19, and you had continued by that point posting gooning audios on your general chat and Discord. What do you think this is? The objective conclusion to this entire drama was that everyone in this sucked ass. But no, Elfin wanted to be seen as the victim. And even though normally she should have had her career destroyed by this point, she should have been completely abandoned by her community, the opposite ended up happening. She again had defied all odds. And
that's a
let
3D
me show
model.
you exactly why.
I wanted a
Rima
3D
Evenstar
model.
is a VTuber who makes some very detailed video essays about the VTuber community.
Oh, I've seen
A
this
couple months
person.
after this document had dropped, she would release a
Parasocial.
video titled "She Played Her Fan Base Like a Dating Sim: The Elfinpsyop Situation," garnering over 100,000 views. In this video, she would constantly be referring to Elfin as a menhera, a term for a character who is emotionally unstable and in poor mental health. They are very emotionally fragile and experience extreme mental ups and downs and mood
Isn't that
swings which can make them a
BPD?
bit difficult to be around. They may have an unhealthy dependence
Bipolar
on love, or their
disorder.
partner be a troublesome person who displays unexpected aggression and tries to dominate others, be easily hurt by the smallest of words, or
Excuse
have
me.
suicidal thoughts and think the world would be better off without them. And man, I don't know about you, but this perfectly describes Elfinpsyop so far, right? But Elfin was outraged. She despised that video and hated Rima to the point
Oh, I
where she
gotta do
added her
this
on
though. It's called Donaton. I'll do it one day.
Twitter and said, Rima Evenstar, I don't know why you like to spread genuinely dog shit and simply false rhetoric so easily. Maybe it's
But I
because
don't
you're
have a
drama
bank
VTuber
account.
by name, but it's just bullshit to spread false things without confirmation. Firstly, when you made the drama video on me, you got a lot of facts wrong and didn't contact me to confirm details either. Nice journalism. Now you're spreading shit about me suicide baiting? To you? I'm sorry, what? I think you making a drama video on me
But
during
she
a time I was
is.
constantly drunk and not in a stable mental state would obviously fuck me up. Like you call me Menhera all the time and don't expect me to somehow crash out? I was still relatively civil and only DM'd you about my issues with your video hoping to at least get facts straight. Believing in random people messaging you rather than the person at the center of the situation is crazy. You do not hate journalists enough. In fact, this got so bad that when Rima posted the tweet announcing the video, it would get totally brigaded by Elfin's community. 102 replies, and all of them filled with insults, slurs, and an attempt to straight up character assassinate Rima, saying, wow, I used to watch your content, but not anymore. Wow, you're a terrible journalist. Wow, you suck at what you do, etc., etc. That's simply because Elfin had replied to this post and ratioed Rima, doubling her likes, simply saying that she is not a femcel. But this still doesn't explain how she was able to survive a Google
That's
Doc
not
like
real,
this. This doesn't explain
femcel.
why she didn't end up like Gumpai. What happened exactly? Well, here's what her diehard fans had to say in response to her reply on Rima's post.
Did
And
they
it perfectly
castrate
encapsulates
themselves?
why she still had a very strong community that kept growing. Look at this idiot. Hey, I just like to say that I'm naive and emotionally vulnerable and would be easily groomed. DM me sometime.
What?
What about this dumbass? I'd be honored to be one of your toys. Crazy they're spinning it as a forced or bad thing, lol. So these men were so irrevocably castrated that they realized,
Maybe
hey, I
they're
don't like this
into
woman
that.
because she's a virgin. No. I like her because she's
Oh,
a
they
golf
like
lawyer and
dominant
because
women, maybe.
she might give me a chance. If she did it with 6 different
Hi,
guys at the
babe.
same time, what's stopping me from DMing her and finding her in a call gooning with me? If anything, average bird enjoyer's Google document
cat's holding
backfired
on to me like a monkey.
tremendously. It made Elfinpsyop seem way more reachable to the average viewer than they thought. So their whole fantasy, or should I say delusion, of trying to fix her, wifing her up, impregnating her, and prolonging the white race wasn't so far off. By this point, Elfin kept gaining followers, kept getting viral tweets, her community kept growing, she was making more money, and her viewership was doing better than ever. She had reached over 100,000 followers, something very impressive, especially for a VTuber. And by this point, we could easily say that she was becoming very dangerous, because in VTubing, there are so many desperate people trying to make a name for themselves that they'll see what works and try to copy it. And since things were going so well with Elfin, since she was totally invincible to any criticism or controversy, someone would end up noticing how well she was doing and try to copy her, even though they had way more followers and way more influence. Her and Elfin would end up becoming friends and then eventually enemies. Riri Gaki is a French rat VTuber who used to stream exclusively in French. Around 2024, she would start streaming more in English, and at some point, one clip from her stream would go mega viral.
so dirty.
It went so viral that there's actually a good chance you saw this already. Watch.
Says their name. So here is broccoli with fucking dumb. Look. No brain cell. No brain, nothing. After we have here Fruby, who is one of my cutest rats too. Look. She's a Rex girl. She got curly hair. She's really cute.
Aww,
It's Bean.
I like her
He's my honey
accent.
boy. But he don't have a cuckoon.
Alright, so you get the point. French girl talking about her rats, very cute, very adorable. Yeah, well, it would go mega viral. 384,000
Little
likes
booby
on
girl.
Instagram, and guys, when it came to Twitter, 12.7
she keeps biting
million
me.
views, 134,000 likes. It was practically on everyone's feed, and everyone was talking about it. If you told someone, hey, did you see the French rat girl? They'd say, yes, I saw it on my feed. It went mega viral. I'm not understating this. She would then reply to this saying, hi, I'm Riri, a rat girl VTuber from France. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord if you want, link in bio, but be warned, I'm the most hated VTuber of all France. And guys,
Why?
she is not kidding. When the French community saw her going viral, they were livid. They saw how viral she was going with the English-speaking community, and they did their best to show them who she truly was. This person, for example, would say, maybe because you're a lolicon and you think Hitler is cool. And
Oh, what's a lolicon? Someone called me a lolicon one time. What's a lolicon, guys? May I know? But wait, can you please stop biting me? I love you so much. Stop biting me. Stop biting me. Oh my god. Stop biting me, little shit. Stop biting me. Oh my god, I'm going crazy. Bobby! Okay. I'm gonna let you down. Don't bite me now. She just fell down. Someone who likes lollies? Lollipop? I love lollipop.
Voice to sound like a kid. Your response to saying the N-word is I hate everyone equally. Look at yourself
my
stuttering
cat's
in your own
biting.
ass tweet. Okay, so very brief lore dump on this bitch because there's no information in English on her. She used to be known as Riri Meow, and her whole content revolved around porn. Still does, but it was worse then. She was retweeting lollipop and had a Discord server with tons of minors, etc, etc. They'd also link some edgy tweets she made in the past.
What does that mean?
Top 5 reasons racism is bad, and then the next picture is thanks for watching. So implying that racism isn't bad. Here's the deal though. Riri's defense on Twitter would be, guys, French people doxed me. They sent police at my house. Yes, they swatted me, and they harassed me at IRL conventions. All for
Don't dox
for
me,
my
please.
edgy jokes, for being a lolly.
I'll be super
All of a sudden,
scared.
French people looked evil, and it doesn't take much to convince someone that French people are evil, okay? The French would argue, well, look, there's these videos on YouTube that expose her. Go watch those things instead. Okay, cool. Here's a video titled The Worst French Streamer, Riri Gaki, with over 448,000 views. Oh hey, here's another one saying the worst French streamer, Riri Meow, with over 245,000 views. I watched both of them in full, in the native language of French, and I can tell you right now, this is what they said in a nutshell. Number 1, she's edgy and she made Nazi jokes, okay? And number 2, she's a lolly. In fact, most of these 2 videos were criticizing her for being a lolly, that she was playing this childlike character, how she was speaking with a childlike voice, and how she was overall just cringe. But here's the deal. For the English-speaking community, this only proved one thing. French people, when it came to VTubing, were completely and utterly out of their depth. VTubing originated from Japan, and this whole lolicon culture originated from
fighting with my
For
cat.
people who actually watched VTubers, it was totally normal. It doesn't matter if you
Save
think
me.
lolicons are weird, right? I think it's a very reasonable take to think that. But when your thumbnail is Riri Gaki with the word pedophile on top of it, you start losing a lot of people from your side. As time passed by, French people were seen as more and more unreasonable. This is not worth swatting over. This is not worth doxing
She's
over.
still
You see pictures
streaming,
like this
this
of a French
rat
person saying
person.
lolicon equals pedophile, with Riri Gaki quote tweeting saying, don't cry, I'm just a drawing. The typical drama you'd find in English-speaking communities too, and typically VTuber watchers would always defend someone like Riri,
Maybe it's
so they were
us.
totally out of their depth here. They'd keep trying to prove that she was problematic, showing her using GIFs saying, settle down, N-word hard R, and also showcasing how she had a role on her Discord called Rotten Waffen, a play on words on the Waffen SS, otherwise known as the Waffen Schutzstaffel, a division in the German army during World War II. Their efforts, again, proved ineffective, and the final straw would be when they would show this image of Riri when she was
Oh, is
streaming
it
with
this
face cam,
person?
apparently doing the, German salute from World War II. Well, you even had Asmongold reacting to it. And he concluded, as well as others, that she was simply adjusting her webcam. Guys, you're trying way too hard to make her look bad. Come on. This was seen as so crazy in the English-speaking community that even Elfin went out of her way to defend her as she was being
Still streaming.
canceled by French people. By this point, Riri Gaki was followed directly by Asmongold on Twitter, and she had the entire English-speaking community backing her up. She was treated horribly by the French community, but now she got given a second chance
Lollipop.
straight from the heavens. However, here's the problem. I don't know if it was the language barrier or just the fact that she's probably mentally ill, but Riri Gaki completely misunderstood what the second chance meant. She thought that she now could finally get away with anything. She could say anything, do anything, and she'd have a community here to back her up always. When in reality, this wasn't the case at all. What actually happened was that she got a second chance, got a new community, and they were hoping that French people were exaggerating. They were hoping that she was going to genuinely redeem herself. And as you might have guessed, This could not have been further from the truth. Shortly after getting this incredible second chance, she would increase the racist and edgy rhetoric by 1000%, all while adding that to a
Is that a
cancerous
cosplay?
cocktail of politics. Some guy would say French
I
quote-unquote
want to
people.
cosplay
What is wrong with your
too. I want to cosplay too. I want to cosplay as a who's a popular character. One Punch Man. Yeah.
country Jesus, to which Riri Gaki would say, immigrant and African. There's another tweet with a lot of views and a lot of likes. Saw a Jew for the first time in my life yesterday. I always thought they were all extinct. Here's her comparing Nazis to trans people. I mean, with the only difference being the fact that one has impressive taste in clothing and the other one being promoted by the US government. She'd have a tweet saying, can I be called a white rat supremacist? I love white rat. And when Kanye West would say, I'm a, you know what, she would quote tweet this with an image of an anime girl raising her hand.
Ew.
So as I said, she completely misunderstood the very simple thing she had to do. Just keep talking about your rats, woman. Just keep being cute.
How are these
She had
people
over
VTubers though?
130,000 followers at this point, and she was taking a page right out of Elfinpsyop's play.
Is it because of the anonymity? What is that thing called? Anonymity? Anonymity? Shit. Anonymity? Anonymity. Yeah. Is it because you're anonymous, so you just say whatever you want? Cat parts.
Probably the worst thing you can do. But hey, it seemed like they were getting along very nicely. Riri Gaki would say, can you teach me how to be cute, please? And Elfin would reply with, but
Stop
you're already
biting
so
me.
kawaii desu. It seemed like the 100,000 castrated men who followed Elfin just had another girl failure
I'm gonna let her
join
outside.
the mix. And they were getting along. Not only did they increase their odds of maybe fixing another woman and marrying her too, but now maybe they could look forward to them collabing together, right? Oh my god, isn't that awesome? Well, I'm sure it would have been. But then some people decided to dig into Riri Gaki's past when she used to be Riri Meow and produced adult content. Now look, let's get one thing straight. Riri never produced any explicit content. It was mostly centered around thighs and feet. And while yes, this was enough for people to call her a whore and all sorts of things, this is simply who she used to be. And for the most part, I mean, people loved it. Oh my god, a girl failure and making stuff like this? It's like Elfin posting her tummy. What else do you want? But as these castrated guys were looking through her
feet
different
for free.
images, they noticed something interesting, particularly in one image set of 3 images. You see, she'd have a photo set where she wore non-matching thigh highs. Everything looked
Well,
normal.
it's
right,
cute
on this picture,
though.
on the other picture, until
I like
you
it.
got to the 3rd picture, in which we can very clearly see a black guy's hand grabbing her left thigh. Now look, normally this wouldn't be an issue. I would hope that it's never an issue. But saying that Riri Gaki would tweet out every other day how France and Paris is getting ruined by immigrants and more specifically Africans, her new, let's say,
Wow.
community wasn't too happy about this. In fact, they were furious. It seemed like no matter how much Riri Gaki disliked African immigrants, she still couldn't resist the BBC. I mean, this is just so funny.
What's
to
a
me. It was treated
BBC?
like this leak, this thing that no one could have ever predicted, when in reality, on her own wiki page, you can see that in 2023, she made some guy called Euro, who happens to be a VTuber, her boyfriend. And when you checked out his model, his model was black. But no, it was a betrayal. How dare she? And she suffered the wrath of her own community. She had pretty much stabbed herself with a knife she forged herself. It was official. She was a grifter. Someone who didn't believe in anything she was saying and was only doing it purely for her own benefit. Someone would say, if you can't see the grift in tweeting racist shit, then race mixing all while hating immigrants, then I don't know what to tell you. To which she would say, bro thinks all French people are all white like snow, lol, we have an
But
island.
you said the
Actually, French
N-word.
have multiple islands, like Corsica, Guadeloupe,
You hate
République,
black
but this
people.
didn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things. As she was getting attacked pretty much daily at this point with her own community
Lolly
turning
Hitler.
against her, she would
Oh
try
my
to
god, I
quell
don't
the
know what they're
flames
talking
by
about.
becoming even more edgy somehow and saying, next cosplay I'm doing, Lolly Hitler. This would prove to be nothing more than a pathetic attempt at recovering the community that was turning on her, because very shortly afterwards, she would get suspended from Twitter by mass reporters who just so happened to be people who were pissed that she was dating a black guy. And the cherry on top was her also getting suspended from Twitch. In her own Discord, she'd say, "Hi, I got banned from Twitter and Twitch again because of a big campaign of harassment and cancel culture. I did a tweet on my alt account if you want to RT, I don't know what. I'm tired. I really hope to die." Here we go with the baiting again. "I don't know. I don't want to let my haters win, but I'm really too tired. 4 years of all this is too much. You can follow my new account if you want," linking her Clips account.
Little bit
and saying,
open
"I
is
don't know if I'll be
okay.
back
Too
one day. I'm
open,
really
not
tired."
okay.
She would then post a statement on that account saying, "If you didn't see it, my main account was mass reported from Twitter haters because some of them believe that I'm a Nazi and the others are mad that I'm not racist. I love it. Seeing people this mad and obsessed by a little rat girl proves to me that I'm really the only person here. You are part of the problem if you think that everybody I don't like is Hitler. Being racist is good, or VTuber shouldn't have a boyfriend. I'm going to take a little break from Twitter while waiting for my appeal to be accepted. Thank you all for the support. I love you a lot. I have an incredible community and lots of kind people who support me. I'm never going to kneel down in front of horrible humans, and I'm never going to let them cancel me. Cancel culture is dead and exists only for insecure people. I'm still going to stream on Twitch and YouTube and be active on Instagram and Discord. Your support means the world to me. Keep making extremist people pissed off and laugh at them. We are stronger than hate. And remember, vive la résistance. Rats live matter and are stronger than evil humans." Signed, Riri.
Vive
So,
la
in the end, this was a
résistance.
desperate attempt at trying to recoup a community that hated her guts at this point. After getting that incredible second chance with a mega viral clip, she spent all that time nurturing a racist community, people who disliked immigrants and minorities, and it turned out she had a black boyfriend. Her initial haters felt vindicated and her own community now turned on her. You couldn't really feel sorry for her, right? But throughout all this, her friend, Elfin, who was also another girl failure like her, and who had initially defended her when the French people were attacking her, what did she have to say by now? Would she show up for her, defend her, help her like a real friend would?
I just want to know about
She would also turn on
Elfin.
her because the girl failures would have a falling out
What
that would
happened
make
to
its
her?
way to the public battlefield. So as I said before, Elfin was someone who had defended Riri initially when she was getting the backlash after going mega viral. They would have some positive interactions here and there, but shortly after Average Bird Enjoyer's document would drop on Elfin, Riri Gaki would say, "Is this Gumpai 2.0? Someone would reply saying, "Please, rat girl, you're my last hope for a based petite girl failure indie VTuber. Don't e-date fans unless it's me, LMAO. God, I can puke in my fucking mouth." To which she would say, "I'm not gonna e-date a fan. I have a boyfriend and I'm
Oh
just
my
a
God,
cat rat for
Blu-ray.
you." So this was essentially Riri Gaki trying to capitalize on the fact that Elfin was potentially going to lose her career because of this document. She was taking the moral high ground, trying to steal any viewers she can from Elfin because she was trying to become her. This is when Elfin would start to subtweet
can
her,
have this.
not calling her directly just yet, saying, "The amount of e-holes rebranding to be girl failures, please bro, you do porn. You sell literal porn of yourself. Just go be some slutty cat girl or something." This is of course referring to Riri Gaki, how in the past she had a fansly and how now she rebranded as being a girl failure. When it came to her Parasocial Discord though, she was way more straightforward. Someone would say Riri is nice though, to which she would reply, "I can't
I
say
gotta
this
be
in
more
good conscience, but she
parasocial."
blatantly called me Gumpai when my controversy happened. I can't forget that shit.
And I gotta be
Lol.
more
How dare
mischievous.
she call me Gumpai when I'm way worse than her? Like, how dare she when I'm literally worse than her in every way? The main
Hi,
confrontation
Yodi.
between these two girl failures would occur when Elfin would post this tweet, with her character saying, "Hey guys," someone saying femcel, to which her character would say, "Not what I'm called." Shortly afterwards, Riri Gaki would also use that same exact
Put
meme
my
form,
feet on my
saying,
desk.
"Hey guys," with someone saying, "Not me," to which Riri would say, "Not what I'm
I
called."
don't want to get
Elfin
scratched
at
by
this
my
point
cat.
would be furious. How dare she copy me? So she would quote tweet this and say, "You guys are all over her. How can she be a Nazi when she has a black boyfriend? Y'all need to do research." This was Elfin
Wow,
declaring
so
war. She
petty.
saw that her community was turning on her because she had a black boyfriend, so she was also looking to capitalize. However, Elfin was about to fight a war on two
4chan.
fronts. She was going up against Riri Gaki, while at the same time
gotta go on
having a
4chan.
demon from her past catch up to her. 4chan. You see, she was an active 4chan user ever since she was
Wow.
a young kid. Yes, I know, what a terrible fate. And 4chan would catch on to her. They'd understand exactly who she used to be and would start revealing some details about her real identity. The fact that she is a
How do they find
Pakistani
it?
who's studying in the UK. Now look, this was a very big deal, okay? Elfinpsyop's entire personality was centered around appealing to the cringe white supremacist who never leaves his home. She would also heavily imply, as you saw in her belly pics that she shared online, she seemed white, and that's exactly what she was selling to her audience, the fact that she's white and even Slavic. At some point she would say, I say
Slavic,
niet a lot,
Russian.
which means no, and people ask me if I'm Slavic on stream. I'm not, I'm just a huge Russia boo. So she posted pictures of her belly and she seemed white. She also was really into Russian culture, I guess, and Russian language. So people assumed she was maybe Eastern European. In fact, her accent sounded pretty American. Some people would think she's American and she would never really correct them. So seeing that she despised immigrants and any minorities for
My
that matter,
accent is
her being
gibberish.
Pakistani would be a death sentence. But this rumor wasn't new. It was being shared on 4chan as early as mid-2024. It would start to really catch up to her and irritate her in 2025 though, specifically during the summer. This is when, for the first time, she would start being confronted live on stream
she's
by
so
chatters
cute,
who were
though.
asking her, are you really
Why can't she be
Pakistani? And she would
nice?
get very triggered at that. Watch.
Pretending to be white. I don't think I need to pretend. I think I
yeah,
am.
that sounds like
Here's another clip.
American accent.
Khakis aren't white. You are so retarded, dude. That's actually
Wow.
insane. Do you realize how ethnicities work? Do you realize how ethnicities work? Or maybe you don't. Genuine question. Aren't you a Paki living in the UK? Who are you to complain? Did you get that from 4chan?
So here we are. She was starting to realize where these people were getting their information from. Wait, did you get this from 4chan?
Maybe his
The website that
language
she
is
kept flexing
gibberish?
that she had
Yeah.
used ever since she was 13.
gibberish.
Interesting. By early 2025, many pictures of Elfin's face
She's so
would somehow
cute,
find
though. Why
themselves on
can't
the
she be
internet. So she
nice?
tweeted out in May 2025, I've been face doxed and harassed so much now, so here, this is me. Yup, now what? LMFAO, it don't even matter, man, no more. Now this image is actually very important. It would of course get deleted later. She would draw some clown makeup on her face in Microsoft Paint, right? I can tell you right now, this clown nose is doing a lot of heavy lifting because it would have very easily exposed her ethnicity. Additionally, it doesn't take a genius to understand that this image is blown the fuck out. Look at that hand.
Photoshopped.
It is blinding. Almost as if she completely upped the levels in
Ignores the
Photoshop
cough.
in an effort to appear white. Something would really crack in Elfin starting summer 2025, okay? This is when she would up the edginess to yet a new level. And so whenever someone criticized her or called her a Pakistani or said that they had proof, she would just call them a Jew, and it would work. Because her community hated Jews.
Is
This would
Jew
work
a
almost
slur?
every single time. They'd eat it up. They would love it, and she would get away with it. However, as her rivalry with Riri Gaki would start really heating up, Riri Gaki would say this. I love how she was trying to cancel me saying I was dating an immigrant, black/Indian/Arabic boy, while pretending to be white. Lol. To which Elfin would say, why are you so obsessed with me, man? Now it's getting serious.
Depends
Look,
on
Riri
how you
Gaki,
use
as much
it,
as she
I
was hated
see.
for dating a black guy, she still held influence
Look
in the
into
whole
it. I don't know
girl
what that
failure
means.
aesthetic club. She shared many followers in common with Elfin, this 100,000 bundle of castrated men, and so her saying what many have been saying already was a genuine threat. This drama started really heating up around November 2025, to which Riri Gaki would say, please stop thinking of me as a girl failure, guys, it's exhausting. I did learn to take care of me. I go outside a lot now. I have a lot of passion and love for nature and cool subjects like aircraft or insects. I really like myself and take care of me. I did reduce my alcohol drinking to 0. I'm fucking proud to be
I
alive
wanna
and my
go on a
depression is going
hike.
away. Please understand that and stop seeing me as a 4chan weirdo or a girl who is mentally ill and
Has
drama
anyone-
poster or
Oh,
talk about
I gotta
political
ask
toxic
people.
subject.
Does anyone want? Oh, no. Let me. Does anyone want to go on hike with me? It can be my Valentine. Was that parasocial enough? No, that was more cringe. Moving on.
Obsessed with skin color or not jokes, it makes me really
No, that's
sad.
diabolical.
I'm getting better and becoming a cool person now that my life is comfy.
That's pretty
Yes, I like edgy
parasocial.
humor and I
Okay.
don't care about humans or minorities,
I'm
but
learning,
I'm
I'm
a responsible
learning.
adult, not a failure or anything else. I'm
I gotta
just
be more
real.
parasocial.
Someone would reply with, that's literally the audience you wanted and even commissioned yourself as a Nazi or girl failure, a loser. Did the Elfin grift not work? To which Riri would say, yeah, Nazi uniform are really pretty.
She's
Like
trying
talking
so
to a wall.
hard to
This tweet was
stand
definitely
out.
very interesting and a bit out of touch. I mean, what have you been doing the past year? She's practically begging everyone to stop thinking of her as a girl failure.
I'm
when
very
she only had herself to
disappointed.
blame.
No,
She
don't
was
be
the one who was
disappointed.
intentionally acting that way.
Be
Elfin
appointed.
would quote tweet that tweet and say, I'm so fucking confused about this woman, I swear. Wasn't OnlyFans catgirl VTuber. Starts following me, completely changes design to look like mine. Suddenly became an alcoholic, quote unquote. Starts copying my tweets 1-to-1. This is not an exaggeration, by the way, okay? The tweets would be very, very similar. Before discovering Elfin, Riri literally had no idea what gooning meant. And there she was all of a sudden, every couple of days, tweeting, yeah, I need to goon. I need to go goon. I goon too much. This was literally Elfin's entire personality, and there she was emulating it.
Something shouldn't be
Elfin would continue. I DM her
said
about
in
it, say I'm
public.
uncomfortable
This is
about
one
it.
of
She
the
says, oh my
things.
god, sorry, you're my biggest
Gooning.
inspiration. We make amends and move on. I support her when she gets into a big
Be
drama.
secret,
when I get
guys.
into drama, calls me Gumpai 2.0
Have
instead of DMing me
secrets.
and asking me what's up. So-called friend, am I right? I get pissed at this and stop talking to her.
I don't know what gooning means.
Almost all my jokes, all my edgy humor, oh my god guys, I'm so gross and gooner and girl failure and edgy, and post not shit constantly. Where did all this suddenly come from, bro? A few months pass, now she says, oh my god, I'm healthy, I don't drink anymore, and I go outside, I'm not a Nazi, guys. Basically, we should forget the past few months happened entirely. Literally attacks me out of nowhere, saying I accused her for having a black boyfriend. I don't care about your boyfriend's race, man. I don't care about you, dude. Can you leave me alone and maybe try to be more creative? You don't get pity points because people attack you online. You literally did it to yourself. I'm edgy and I know people will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one. You started being like this after following me.
She's so
Please learn to be
cool.
yourself
Wow,
and stop
she's so
attacking people
cool
for no
being
reason.
edgy.
Thanks. So look, Elfin was definitely making some good points here. Yes,
I'm
it
being
is true.
sarcastic.
Riri definitely started acting like her after following her. That's a fact. It seemed like Riri Gaki's intent from the get-go was stealing as many viewers as she could from her, and when she saw
I feel
that
like
Elfin
she would judge me by the way that I speak.
was
Yeah.
potentially going to lose her career,
I don't know where
she didn't
she's
try to
at.
defend her. She tried
Does
to make
anyone know where she's at?
her roof and call her
Elfinpops?
Gumpai 2.0.
Lollipop?
However, it's not like Elfin wasn't doing the exact same thing. Look at this sentence near the end. I'm edgy
Probably
and I know
would,
people
yeah.
will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one. Again, this whole idea that, guys, I'm real. I'm authentic. In fact, Elfin would go as far as saying on her stream that Riri Gaki was a very rare example of a true grifter. In her opinion, the word is overused. Not everyone's a grifter, but Riri was. This was her implying, of course, that she was a real girl failure. She was actually proudly alcoholic. Everything about her was totally authentic. And hey, to be fair, it worked. After Elfin would make her post about Riri, someone would confront Riri asking her, yo, what's up? Like, what happened with Elfin? Here's what she'd say in her Discord. She tried a lot in the past to get me canceled on Twitter and can't stop
My
talking
God,
about
my
how I stole her
cat
identity because I
keeps
have a
biting
similar
my
humor,
butt.
/ black hair / loves alcohol / depressed. Dude, imagine making that your entire personality and being mad that someone stole it. Dude, who are these
I even
people?
put my
Anyway,
feet
she
on the
continued, Cannot
desk.
stand her. I did try to be her friend, but cannot stand girls sending nudes to 6
Bubby.
persons at the same time while trying to proclaim that she doesn't have a boyfriend, is white, and is not a whore all the time because she doesn't want to lose her community. She is not
Come on,
honest, and she's
Bubby,
just
you gotta
another
come
gimmick like
out.
she says. Now, to be fair, even Riri had made good points here, right? But it's like, both of these people are so unlikable, you don't really care about taking sides, do you? However, even with all that being said, the next day, Riri would make yet another post on her Twitter. Her alt account, of course, because her main one got permanently suspended. Her appeal failed. She'd say, I would like to apologize for all the people following me because I was looking and acting like a based, edgy girl failure. I know the drastic change of me
love
getting mentally
you.
better and stopping to act like a loser can be deceiving for a lot of you, and I understand if you stop following me, but I cannot keep going like that. Sorry for looking fake. I never lied about my depression or my daily difficulty like my alcohol consummation. I don't think she even bothered
She's
translating it.
biting me.
Consummation, it's literally a French word, but
She
yeah,
bit
her
my
alcohol
chest.
consumption. Secondly, I would like to apologize to @Elfinpsyop. I have her blocked because I don't want toxicity in my feed and don't
Like you
appreciate
can
her
have
as a
my
person, but I
treats.
feel like it's still important to talk about that. I found Elfin's content when I was at my lowest after all the harassment from the French community, and instead of being a better person or learning to love myself, I ended up stealing and copying some of her gimmick, like she called it. This is not correct and not what a content creator should do. I did tweet like her and used to do the same content on Twitter as her to be accepted and seen by people having cool humor, things that do not exist in France, but I'm not proud of that, and I would like to have learned sooner that I should
gonna
just
be more
myself instead of wanting
parasocial
some
now.
attention on the internet while copying some
Hello,
gimmick.
cutie
I'm sorry,
pies.
Elfin, for all of that, and for not talking gently about
Welcome
you
back
publicly
home.
after having your help. I hope one day you have the chance to get better and go away from all the toxicity that Twitter and other social media are spreading. I understand that you see me as a LARPer or a grifter, but my political beliefs were never fake. I live in a dangerous country because of immigration and multiple other things. I just ended up basing my content only on that and edgy jokes to pander to these types of people when I'm in fact just a normal autistic woman who just want to share her hobbies. I'm not gonna lie,
I'm so
but I see
happy.
myself as a LARPer. I also want to talk to you about the black boyfriend controversy. I know a lot of my past fans were
I love
following me
black
because
people.
of all this LARPing. I understand your sadness when you learn about the VTuber that you considered as based having what you thought was a black immigrant boyfriend. I don't like saying that, but dating an immigrant or a black male is not something I would be able to do. I did date for 2 years in the past a brown/tan French male. This always was public since I was always streaming with him. Guys, don't worry, he wasn't black, he was just brown. Like, dude. After all this LARPing, I think this is normal and my own fault that I ended up in a situation where I get harassed by my old fan base. Sadly, you were just following me for the based girl failure thing and not even to look after my content or stream since you did not know about my ex-boyfriend. This makes me really sad that all this love was fake, but this is again my own fault for acting like that. I'm deeply thankful to all the rat
Yeah, I'll
bros
drink
believing in me
water.
and understanding my word. You are the reason
And
why
then
today
I'll
I can be this
stretch.
better person. Thanks to all the people who still love me and not just my toxic past. I love you. First
I
off,
can't
just want to point out
stretch.
how she was talking about this
My
like it
cat
happened in
keeps
the past.
biting
Bro,
me.
this literally happened like 2 months ago. You know, like this, there was barely any time between the old account and the new account. But hey, you know what? A surprising amount of self-awareness in this post. She pretty much admitted she was a LARPer. That's because she was. She was a LARPer. And she was
LARPer? What's a
grifter, pretty much the
LARPer?
same thing. But of course, this post wouldn't even get half the engagement she used to get when she would say, BRB going to my room to goon. But hey, it seems like some people stuck around for the rats and whatever. Most people who followed her for being a girl failure already left anyway when they found out she had a black boyfriend. Elfin would yet again make another post after this one, this time saying, I don't own the girl failure aesthetic, okay? It didn't matter to me as much when Riri was outright copying my tweets, word for word, just twisted to look more French. That made me feel weird. Any joke I made or content idea was being copied. I felt like I couldn't do anything original anymore, and I care about novelty more than anything.
But
Yes, we know that, Elfin.
I don't
You're not like
know.
the other girls, right? To be fair, a lot of people here thinking we used to be friends aren't exactly wrong. I genuinely thought we
I
made
don't
up
know
and were
about
good
content
friends
creation
until I found
and
out how
stuff.
she talks about me behind my back. I genuinely tried, man. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm super mean usually, and she was kind back and said I was her biggest inspiration. I've dealt with mean girls all of my high school, man. I've had many bullies and
Live
fake
action
friends. To me,
role
this greatly
playing
resembled
live.
the fake
Oh.
friend trope. So I don't like this defamation of
Role
Elfin is so
playing, okay,
toxic. I only
okay.
copied her because I'm autistic and just want to make content. I'm sorry
I'll
if you go
role
through stuff,
play
but you're an
as
adult
a
actively making choices every
parasocial
day. You have the
girlfriend.
choice to just be friendly with me.
Welcome
Then
home,
congratulate Riri
sweetheart.
on being less depressed and getting rid of alcohol, and end this by
My
saying,
God,
but
what a
please,
puke.
if you truly were someone who understood what it's like to be someone who had a problem with those things, stop shitting on me for being a girl failure alcoholic now that you're better. Trust me, I don't choose to feel depressed all the time. So again, you know, I'm a victim, guys. I've been bullied all my life.
Oh my
you know,
God,
I'm a
my
girl failure. I'm a real
cat
girl
keeps
failure,
biting
okay? Stop
everything.
pretending that you are
I'm gonna
real.
put you back
Trust
to
me, I
sleep.
don't choose to feel depressed all the time, okay? I'm authentic. But my favorite part is when she says, I'm sorry if you go through stuff, but you're an adult actively making choices every day. Because that's literally what people were telling Elfin when she got exposed as having been gooning to 6 guys at the same time. But
You.
overall, this was nothing more than 2 very disliked monkeys fighting. But if we stepped back and looked at the bigger picture, this situation would go from a clown show to something very alarming. As you saw, Elfin was practically invincible. Riri took heavy inspiration from her seeing how much success she was finding as being a girl failure, and even though she had more followers and had way more virality, she still proceeded to
Movie.
copy her directly. Elfin was starting to become not just a danger to herself or to her fans, but to everyone in the VTubing community as a whole. Being a girl failure should never be something that's encouraged. It's not a good thing. It's not meant to be a good thing. And yet her success was encouraging others to follow her lead. I mean, why wouldn't they? If saying racist slurs wasn't going to get her canceled. If
That's
having
an
a secret
incredible
boyfriend wasn't going to get her
art.
canceled. If having 6 different guys you're
I
going
wanna
to at the
hold a
same time wasn't
gun.
going to get her canceled, then the million-dollar question was, what will? Well, what would end up canceling Elfinpsyop, the person who
Wow,
had pretty much
Genshin.
nurtured 100,000
Isn't this
castrated
Genshin?
men who identified as white supremacists, would be the day that she was finally exposed as a Pakistani. So, as I had already mentioned, Elfin's tweets would start to take a turn during the summer of 2025. Her edginess wouldn't just be for the sake of being edgy anymore. She would take on a sort of political rhetoric that you would maybe find during a Nick Fuentes stream. Look at this tweet, for example. Don't
Nick
understand how you can live in
Fuentes.
this modern world and see all the bad shit happening and not immediately connect the dots and see that it's Jewish influence. So now, the Jews were responsible for everything. How about this tweet made a little while later saying, I love astronomy so much and I love stargazing, but I can't because there's too many immigrants in the UK and it scares me to go outside alone. As far as anyone was concerned, she wasn't even British. She wasn't from the UK, right? But there she was taking a political
Gulp.
stance for a country that she doesn't even belong to. This tweet in particular will become way funnier later. You'll get why. But it wasn't just political
My
rhetoric that was taking
little
hold of her edginess.
baby.
It was her edginess itself that was taking a whole other level. For example, with her posting this image of her model saying, "R word my model," then replying, "Sorry guys, I meant R word," with an asterisk. The joke here is that she wasn't correcting herself. She
I
actually
got the
meant it.
ick.
She'd also make a conscious effort to play into the jokes and controversies that were made about her. Look at this tweet, for example. "Groomer this, groomer that, come here, let me groom you." This was in reference to the Google Doc that was dropped about her, in which 6 men that were in their 20s said that she groomed them. At some point, she'd post a selfie that would get a lot of likes, of course, with her nose and mouth blurred because it would show her ethnicity, and had the caption, "Elfinpsyop." This was her playing into the joke that some people were starting to call her Pakistani. So look, by now, it might be obvious what she's trying to do. She was being heavily criticized when it came to her actions by the wider VTuber community, and yet, her own community also had criticisms relating to the fact that she might just be Pakistani. This was her attempting to play into the joke while also raising the bar for her edginess, hoping that it'll kind of insulate her from criticism. This desperate attempt of trying to move on from the fact that she might just be an immigrant and trying to move on from her controversies would result in some pretty embarrassing moments, like her public crash out during the summer of 2025, when she would begin by saying, "Not a big fan of Indians." Someone would reply with, "Do not do this, you don't have to right-wing grift." This is probably someone who found her character and liked the design, or just liked the belly pic. This is when she'd completely and totally crash out. "Grift, question mark?" Someone would say, "You're so brave and definitely not a pick-me who tries too hard to look based." To which she would say, "Uh-oh, the big pick-me word, I'm so scared, please don't use it. Funny when I voice my unfiltered opinions, I'll get random red cards saying, 'Oh my god, pick me, oh my god, grifter.'" You realize when I say shit like that, I lose and filter more people rather than gain, right? I'd rather have people know what I think about shit than just follow me for cute tummy pics, expecting a wholesome person. Keck. Funny enough, my opinions have remained the same since I was 14 on major social issues. I think I'm pretty consistent with my mentality on things. It's so funny to me how she thought this was a flex. That same person, snot-nosed swagger, would call her out and say, "So you have the same opinions as a 14-year-old? Wow." And then he'd get blocked. She couldn't handle it. She crashed out and she just couldn't handle it anymore.
She's a little bit weird.
Behavior wouldn't be
Not a little bit.
to just
100%
Twitter,
weird.
It would also happen in her Discord.
Not in a good
She started
way.
saying things that were definitely out of place. I mean, they were fairly random, right? For someone who was maybe Slavic or American, saying things like, "Northern Pakistan is entirely Aryan. No one seems to understand that." Pretty suspicious thing to say when you're not Pakistani. All of a sudden, this was very different from the rhetoric she was taking about immigrants and Pakistanis in general.
I wouldn't be like her.
She used to tweet things like, "If leftists
My
think
mom
some
would
girl
be
on the internet is a
disappointed.
pedophile for posting petite girls that look like her on the internet, then why do
I'll
they
be
promote immigration that
disappointed.
bring in Muslim, pedophile, and racists?" Curious. This is really funny when you consider the fact that some of the biggest Muslim immigrants to the UK are Pakistani, right? You see where I'm going with this? All of a sudden, when the pressure was mounting on Elfin, and it seemed like it was inevitable that she was going to be revealed as Pakistani,
She made 6
she
figures.
started shifting the blame from Muslims
That's
to
crazy.
the Jews, saying things like, "Oh, the reason why all the Muslims are coming to Europe was because Jews want to destroy society." She'd also suspiciously start saying things like this: "I'm not gonna lie, Muslims got one thing right.
Only Parasocial too. That's too
no
late.
nutritional value and so much fat relative to beef and chicken.
Too late
not
now.
even enough protein. Pork sucks in general. Bacon is good sometimes, but bacon in the UK is terrible." Oddly suspicious to say this. This isn't edgy or base.
I love
This sounds like
bacon.
someone who's guilty. And that's because she was. Look, eventually it was very hard to deny this. 4chan was after her ass, and they were revealing the fact that she used to be on 4chan when she was younger. There are threads dating back to as far as 2021 where they were referring to her as someone who was very attractive and was peak wife material. They'd be calling her their ideal crush, their ideal wife when she was a minor, mind you. And one of those people
5-3 submissive. Short dark hair. Hates. What is that? Hates minorities. Likes nature. Wants to go camping. Loves fashion. Probably has slight yet Middle Eastern accent. Smooth thighs. Lives in Pakistan. Sweet and loving. What's the other one? If you're reading this, I want to be your boyfriend.
complimenting her would say, "lives in Pakistan." Additionally, what didn't help was that her name was doxed. And it was painfully
I won't be this
terrible.
parasocial though.
Pakistan is a Muslim country that's heavily influenced by Muslim culture, so of course they have a lot of Arab names. At this
Never.
point, it was simply undeniable no matter how much she wanted it to not be true. So around the
That's
end of
correct.
December 2025, she would admit to her Discord, yes, I'm Pakistani, but I promise I'm only half Pakistani. People would start hating on her, and of course she'd do what she did best, suicide bait, saying,
Look at
whatever,
the
dude, stop hating me
emo.
because I'm happy. Fuck, I'm gonna kill myself now. Someone would say, I miss when I thought Elf was white. The hand reveal ruined everything. Then she would say, Jesus, okay, leave then, asshole. She'd then say, guys, I'm only half Pakistani, okay? I'm half Slavic. I'm Ukrainian. Please, there's some white in me. But then she would realize a very important realization, saying, you guys hate me because I'm a halfie. I get it. Y'all don't even consider Slavs
Even the
white
dog
either, so
started
I'm double
barking.
brown. I hate my life. Now you might be wondering, why is it that her community of white supremacists didn't consider Slavs white? Well, in these extremely edgy internet circles, they have a big problem with the fact that the Ukrainian president Zelensky is Jewish. They think
My
he's some Jewish
little
puppet and he's
booby.
prolonging the war on purpose, right? That's their viewpoint. So to them, Ukrainians were Jewish. They were part of the problem. Someone would say, and your dad's Ukrainian, in parentheses, Jewish, to which you would say, he's not Jewish, in all caps. So now, she wasn't just seen as half Muslim, she was also seen as half Jewish, the two things that her community hated the most, and she made them
Why do
that
people
way.
have so
You
much
to understand,
hatred?
not everyone who found Elfin had
Go
that ideology.
out.
Some of them were totally
Touch
innocent,
some
found her
grass,
through a
touch
belly picture,
some
liked her,
girls.
maybe fell in love with her
You'll be
because they're
alright.
mentally ill, and then saw that she thought this way ideologically
With
and started
consent,
sharing
with
those same
consent.
opinions. And now they were being backstabbed, betrayed. How dare you be exactly what you've been hating on for so long? Some people would start saying, hey, maybe you're not Pakistani, maybe you're just Indian, to which you would say, I'm too cute to be Indian, please, guys. Like, how dare you call a Pakistani
Diabolical.
Indian, bro? Like, this would all keep building up until Christmas Day, the 25th of December 2025, when Elfin, in an extremely drunken state, would post a tweet that's barely legible, saying, I'm drunk enough to come out. I'm Pak, mom's side, and Ukrainian, dad's side. I'm a halfie. LMFAO, weird combo, right? I'm not Muslim and I hate Muslims. I love Christmas. I'm more Slavic than anything because I grew up Slavic. Slava Ukraina, Pakistan Zindabad. So look, just like with Riri Gaki, right, with her black boyfriend, this normally should have never been a problem. If anything, this would have been something to celebrate. Like, oh, you come from very different cultures. Cool, that's awesome. Wow. The only person that made it a problem was her. And as you can see from the 186 replies, her community wasn't really too happy about this. The next step was her trying to appease her community. Look, she knew what they wanted. They wanted whatever was in between her legs. So she would desperately tweet things out like, Aryan man, please colonize me. Aryan man, please colonize the girl failure. Stinky
I
bitch,
got the
Aryan
egg,
man.
guys.
I mean, at this point, it was just pathetic. The only feelings
I
most
got the
people
egg.
had when seeing this was pity. Like, come on,
Take
dude,
your
what are you
time.
doing? Then on the 29th of December, she would tweet this out all of a sudden saying, I hate being who I am and I hate being like this. I can't do this anymore for a bit. I'm sorry. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm fucking sorry I'm like this. I hope you're all well and please don't miss someone like me. Goodbye for now. What would immediately follow after is her deactivating her Twitter account and disabling all invites to her Discord server.
Well,
Now
she
look,
made
reactions
6
were mixed
figures.
to this, but as you might have guessed, the majority of the VTuber community was celebrating, okay? Hitler was dead. This stain on VTubers' reputations, as well as her insufferable community, were finally
Wow.
gone. We won. On the other end of these celebrations, though, were some very heartbroken men saying things like, I hope Elfinpsyop comes back. Yeah, she's mentally ill and likes to provoke people, but she's not so bad that she deserves to have something terrible happen to her. Or this guy saying, I really hope Elfinpsyop is okay. The racism towards her because of who she is unacceptable.
But you
and I
guys
genuinely
tweet
hope she
like
didn't hurt
this
herself.
if
No
I
one
go
deserves to be
away?
treated like that.
Wait, let me be
It's like, bro,
parasocial. Would you guys tweet at me like this if I go away?
Are we talking
Say
about the
yes.
same person here? That's literally what she did every single day. And to make matters worse, when she deactivated her account, this person would tweet this out, saying, another VTuber that I spent thousands of dollars making merch for
I never
just
doubted
deactivated
that.
her socials without any warning whatsoever and isn't responding to my messages. Yes, of course, this person
Diabolical,
was
what
referring
the
to
hell?
Elfinpsyop, right? This post got a lot of attention and it showed how much of a wreck she really was.
My little
Look, overall,
booby.
it wasn't just embarrassing to be Elfin at this point. It was also humiliating to be one of her fans. I mean, these guys were hopeless. They were like, yeah, I know
I'm
she's
sorry
half
if you're
Indian, but look,
mentally.
she's
I
half
would
white.
go away,
I know we're meant to
Lean.
hate Muslims
I'll
and
always
minorities,
be
but
here.
please, just make an exception for her. I'll fix her, wife her up, and prolong the white race. Please, let's just make her an exception. Now, as pathetic as this sounds, it wasn't a surprise. No one was ever interested in her for her political takes or her grift. It was all about her belly and the fact that she was a woman who was promiscuous. Politically
back
speaking,
to
though, they gave
watching
themselves
Euro.
some hope that, hey, at least she's half white.
Okay.
But even that illusion was about
Yeah,
to be
so
shattered.
just be
That's
alone.
because 4chan would go above and beyond, as they always do, and would
What is this
find
flag?
irrefutable proof that she's not half Pakistani, she is
Oh,
full
Pakistan.
Pakistani. 4chan would go through her previous usernames on Steam. And before using Elfinpsyop in 2021, she would be known as Absurd Comrade. Well, would you look at that? There's an Osu account that was created back in September 2020 that had the same exact name, and also used the profile picture of a character that Elfin liked a lot, Megumin from Konosuba. It also had the flag of Pakistan on the profile. This was a very big deal because this was region-based. Yes, it was based on your IP. This meant that as far back as 2020, Elfin was in Pakistan. She wasn't raised Slavic. She was raised in a country in which 99.99% of people are Muslim. And those Muslim immigrants going to the UK that she kept insulting every single day, well, she was literally one of them. I mean, seriously.